Have you ever heard of a town where the church, hotel, and bar are all built underground? Or a country where women often take the lead in dating and might even drive you across the desert? Australia is a place where Christmas arrives in the heat of summer, barbecues are almost a cultural ritual, and you can meet the adorable quokka, often called the happiest animal on Earth. Today, let's explore 15 surprising things about the land down under. Here's something that might surprise you about Australian culture. In Australia, beauty standards aren't about makeup or model heights. What makes Australian women most attractive is the freedom radiating from their demeanor. Strolling through the streets of Sydney, Melbourne, or coastal towns like Byron Bay, you'll easily spot girls with sun-kissed skin, bright smiles, and a laid-back yet vibrant fashion style. Bowie dresses, sneakers, swimwear, and wide-brimmed hats, all without needing to perform or put on a show. They are often hailed as one of the most independent groups of women in the world. Here you'll find girls driving through the outback desert, surfing in the morning, and managing high-level jobs in the afternoon. This isn't just a stereotype, it's backed by hard data. Australia has one of the highest rates of female university graduates globally, and over 1/3 of small businesses are women-owned. It was also the first country in the G20 to have a female Prime Minister, Julia Gillard. Australian women are not shy about taking the initiative in both work and relationships. They might be the ones to text first, invite you out, or even directly ask, "Do you like me?" This complete reversal of traditional dating roles has created a unique dating culture that exists nowhere else on Earth. And here's something fascinating that recent surveys revealed. Australian women are among the most open in the world to dating and marrying foreigners, especially Americans, Brits, and Italians. Speaking of Australian women and their bold approach to life, there have been stories in the media about young women using sugar dating to fund travel and luxury experiences. One widely discussed case involved an Australian woman who joined a sugar dating website to connect with wealthy men seeking companionship during business trips. She arranged to accompany an American businessman to a conference in California, with all travel and expenses covered in exchange for her company. The result was an extended trip that included first-class flights from Australia to Los Angeles, luxury hotel stays, visits to resorts in Las Vegas, shopping sprees, and fine dining. When she returned home, she shared her experience publicly, sparking debate across Australian media and social platforms. Critics questioned the ethics of such arrangements, while supporters saw it as a modern form of companionship. Whatever the perspective, her story highlighted a growing conversation about alternative relationship dynamics and the pursuit of personal goals. Now let's talk about something that reveals the darker side of Australian culture. Australia has one of the strongest gambling cultures in the world. About 80% of adults take part in some form of gambling, and on average, each person loses around $1,300 every year, nearly 50% more than in Singapore, which ranks second globally. While the US spends more overall, Australians lose more money per person than gamblers in Las Vegas, Monte Carlo, or Macau. The government invests over $3.5 billion annually in support programs for problem gambling. Yet the industry contributes about $4.3 billion in taxes and provides large-scale employment. This makes it difficult to reduce gambling's presence in society. Across the country, there are nearly 200,000 slot machines, some offering jackpots of over $300,000, far higher than similar machines in the UK. Many of these venues are concentrated in disadvantaged communities, where they generate significantly more revenue than in wealthier areas. Stories from affected players reveal the scale of the issue, with some losing decades of savings to these machines. For many observers, gambling in Australia is more than entertainment. It's a cultural force that shapes daily life and sparks ongoing debate about its impact. Let me shift gears and show you something incredible about Australia's natural beauty. Australia has more than 10,000 beaches, so many that visiting one a day would take 27 years to complete. They range from tropical rainforests to desert coastlines, busy city shores to untouched bays, offering unmatched variety. Bondi Beach in Sydney is among the world's most famous, only minutes from the city center. Its golden sand draws surfers, joggers, and swimmers, while the Bondi Iceberg's pool, set right against the ocean, has become one of the most photographed spots online, symbolizing Australia's active coastal lifestyle. A short ferry ride from Sydney takes you to Manly Beach, where calm waters meet a relaxed atmosphere. Visitors can swim, kayak, or simply unwind, enjoying the rare mix of peaceful seclusion and easy access to the city. For those seeking dazzling white sand, Hyams Beach in Jervis Bay holds a Guinness World Record for the whitest sand anywhere. The fine, bright grains shine so intensely under the midday sun that they almost sparkle, contrasting beautifully with the clear blue water. But here's what most tourists don't realize. These beaches aren't just beautiful. They're also incredibly dangerous, which brings us to our next shocking fact about Australia. In Australia, clothing-optional events are not just accepted, they're celebrated as part of the national culture. One of the most notable traditions takes place every winter solstice, when thousands of people gather in Hobart for a sunrise swim in the Derwent River. On June 21st, Australia's winter, around 3,000 participants set aside their towels and ran into the icy waters together while drums beat in the background, creating an almost tribal atmosphere that connects modern Australians to ancient traditions. These body-positive gatherings extend beyond seasonal rituals. Internationally renowned photographer Spencer Tunick has organized large-scale projects at iconic sites such as Bondi Beach, where hundreds of volunteers pose in coordinated formations for artistic purposes. These events are officially supported and often carry important messages, such as raising awareness for cancer prevention. At their core, these gatherings use creativity and openness to encourage people to care for their health. It's a uniquely Australian way of combining bold expression with meaningful social causes. Enjoyed the video? Before we continue, don't forget to ring the bell, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. It truly helps me out, and I promise to bring you even more awesome content. Speaking of cancer, here's a terrifying reality that shatters Australia's peaceful image. According to the Australian Cancer Council, 2 out of 3 Australians will be diagnosed with cancer by the time they turn 70. In a country of 26 million people, over 17 million will face cancer in their lifetime. This high rate is directly caused by the hole in the ozone layer above Australia. The sun's UV radiation hits Australia with an intensity that's dangerous. Australians love their beach culture, spending countless hours under the sun surfing, swimming, and sunbathing. But this lifestyle comes with a devastating price. More than 160,000 Australians are diagnosed with cancer every year. The rate of skin cancer in Australian women is 10 times higher than in Europe, while the rate in men is 20 times higher. These aren't small statistical differences, these are massive gaps that highlight just how dangerous the Australian environment is. The Australian government has no choice but to spend over $100 million annually helping people fight cancer and improve survival rates. But the money can't undo the fundamental problem. Australia's location makes it one of the most cancer-prone places on Earth. Let me show you something that perfectly captures the Australian spirit. In Australia, BBQ isn't just a meal. It's a cultural ritual that's deeply ingrained in the national identity. BBQs appear at every occasion: birthdays, Christmas, national holidays, or just a sunny Saturday afternoon. Here's what makes Australian BBQ culture unique. They have a system of free electric BBQs located in clean parks throughout the country, always ready to use. Just bring your ingredients, press a button, and start grilling. Australian BBQ isn't limited to steak and sausages. You'll find barramundi fish, grilled oysters, lobster, bell peppers, pineapple, and even chocolate-covered bananas on the grill. This variety rivals any international restaurant, but it's happening in public parks across the country. Cold beer is the mandatory companion at every BBQ, usually local craft beer that's become a point of national pride. Beer, grilled meat, and genuine smiles create connections that don't need formal introductions or social hierarchies. It's democratic in the purest sense. Australians take the art of grilling very seriously. Anyone who flips meat too aggressively gets teased as a rookie. There are unwritten rules about timing, temperature, and technique that separate the masters from the amateurs. But more importantly, it's about the people around the fire. From families inviting neighbors to companies welcoming new employees, BBQs serve as Australia's diplomatic tool for building relationships. If there's a place on Earth that makes you feel like you've stepped into a science fiction movie, it's Coober Pedy, the strangest desert town in Australia. Located in the South Australian desert, where summer temperatures frequently exceed 113 degrees Fahrenheit. The locals have adapted by living completely underground. Over 1,500 residents inhabit dugouts, homes carved deep into the cool earth that remain comfortable year-round without air conditioning. Coober Pedy produces about 95% of the world's commercial opal, earning it the title of opal capital of the world. Many residents have found gemstones worth thousands of dollars right in their backyards. The entire town infrastructure is underground. Churches, bars, restaurants, and even a 4-star hotel called the Desert Cave Hotel operate beneath the surface. Visitors can attend Sunday service, grab a drink, enjoy a gourmet meal, and sleep in luxury accommodations without ever seeing sunlight. The landscape above ground resembles an alien planet, with its rugged red terrain and bizarre rock formations. This otherworldly appearance has made Coober Pedy a favorite filming location for movies like Mad Max, Pitch Black, and Red Planet. When the sun sets, the sky explodes into a painted canvas of red and purple, while underground the nightlife begins with shopping, partying, and legendary tales of opal discoveries. If you had the chance to spend a night in Coober Pedy's underground hotel, would you try it, or would you prefer to stay above ground in the desert heat? Let us know in the comments below. Australia isn't just famous for kangaroos and golden beaches. This country contains some of the most extraordinary natural wonders on Earth that seem to defy scientific explanation. Imagine a lake with a natural pink color that looks like strawberry milk. That's Lake Hillier in Western Australia, and scientists still can't fully explain why it maintains this stunning pink hue year-round. The Daintree rainforest represents another impossible wonder. This ancient forest is over 180 million years old, making it significantly older than the Amazon rainforest. Walking through the Daintree feels like traveling back in time, with gigantic tree canopies and rare wildlife that exists nowhere else on Earth. One of Australia's most iconic symbols is Uluru, a massive sandstone monolith standing nearly 1,142 feet high in the heart of the continent. What makes Uluru truly magical is how it changes color throughout the day, shifting from bright orange to deep red depending on the light. This natural color-changing phenomenon occurs nowhere else on Earth at this scale. If you prefer urban wonders, Sydney offers the Opera House, an architectural masterpiece recognized as a World Heritage Site. Its unique shell-like design has become one of the most recognizable buildings in the world. Meanwhile, Melbourne has been honored by UNESCO as a city of literature, promising artistic experiences and cultural depth that rival any major city in the Northern Hemisphere. Here's a statistic that will blow your mind about Australia's vastness. With a natural area of about 7.7 million square kilometers, Australia ranks 6th in the world by landmass. But Australia's population is only 26.01 million people, creating an average population density of just 3.3 people per square kilometer. The statement that 95% of Australia is uninhabited isn't an exaggeration. It's a mathematical reality. Australia is one of the most urbanized countries in the world, with 90% of the population living in urban areas that occupy only 0.22% of the total land mass. Although Adelaide is Australia's 5th largest city, it's surrounded by an area the size of France that contains only 3,750 residents. That means 178 square kilometers of land for every single person. Why doesn't anyone want to live in the Australian interior? The answer reveals the continent's deadly nature. Australia harbors too many dangerous animals, plus it faces a special geological curse. Much of the interior is located in desert regions that freeze during winter, receive little rainfall, and remain dry year-round. This makes Australia one of the most fire-prone continents on Earth. The devastating bushfires from late 2019 to early 2020 burned more than 20% of Australia's forest area, affecting over 50% of the population and killing at least 1 billion animals. During the worst periods, air quality indexes reached 20 times higher than toxic levels. These fires demonstrated why the vast majority of Australia remains uninhabitable and uninhabited. Hahndorf, founded in 1839, is Australia's oldest surviving German settlement and one of South Australia's most distinctive destinations. With red-tiled roofs, timber-framed buildings, and flower-filled balconies, the village reflects authentic German construction adapted to local conditions. Generations of families still run many of the town's shops, from bakeries and breweries to candle and leather workshops. Traditional German food is central here. Pretzels, sausages, schnitzels, and sauerkraut are prepared with recipes passed down for over a century. Local breweries also keep to German methods, using imported hops to craft authentic beer. Hahndorf's main street, just a kilometer long, is filled with cafes, art galleries, chocolate shops, pottery studios, and craft stores, each preserving a piece of German heritage. Festivals bring the town to life year-round, including a local Oktoberfest and summer Christmas markets that merge European traditions with Australian warmth. For art lovers, the Cedars, the former home of painter Hans Hahn, offers a glimpse of the landscapes that shaped his celebrated work. Canberra, Australia's capital, offers a calm and orderly atmosphere compared to Sydney or Melbourne. Designed as a city in a park, it features wide boulevards, roundabouts, and abundant green space. Streets are clean, traffic is light, and cyclists often share the road with government officials, reflecting the city's balanced lifestyle. Architecture highlights Australian tradition, with Queenslander-style houses, elevated wooden structures with broad verandas and pastel tones built for both comfort and elegance. Daily life centers on farmers' markets, outdoor cafes, and cultural landmarks such as the National Gallery of Australia and Questacon, blending formal institutions with a relaxed spirit. By night, Canberra shifts gears. Pubs, fine dining restaurants, and live music venues thrive, while Lake Burley-Griffin glows under city lights, inviting evening walks, bike rides, or waterside relaxation. This harmony of political significance and natural beauty makes Canberra stand out among world capitals, a place where one can attend Parliament in the morning and paddle a kayak in the afternoon. If you had one day in Canberra, would you spend it exploring the museums and Parliament, or relaxing by Lake Burley-Griffin with food and live music at night? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. If you think street names exist purely for navigation, Australia will make you reconsider while laughing out loud. In a country 32 times the size of New York State, you'll easily find places with names so bizarre they seem lifted directly from comedy films. Towns called Nowhere Else, Mount Buggery, and Eggs and Bacon Bay are all real locations famous enough to appear in international travel magazines. Australians intentionally choose humorous names because they understand that humor attracts tourists in ways that conventional names cannot. Some communities take pride in streets named Google Street or Looney Tunes Lane, as if inviting visitors to step directly into a cartoon world. The street called Nothing Street once confused Google Maps so thoroughly that the system couldn't provide directions. Street signs in Australia have become sought-after souvenirs among international visitors. The sign for "Come by Chance" disappears so frequently that the town produces replacements 5 to 10 times annually, according to local media reports. This might be the only place on Earth where street signage functions as hot tourist merchandise. These unusual names reflect Australian culture's fundamental irreverence and refusal to take itself too seriously. While other countries name streets after political leaders or historical events, Australians choose names that make people smile and create memorable experiences. If you think festivals only happen during snowy winters, Australia will completely change your perspective. Being in the Southern Hemisphere, Christmas in Australia falls right in the middle of blazing summer. Instead of wearing fur coats and gathering around fireplaces, Australians host BBQ parties on beaches, grilling meat while playing volleyball under intense sunshine. Vivid Sydney represents Australia's shining cultural pride. This is the largest light festival in the Southern Hemisphere, attracting over 2 million visitors annually from around the world. The entire city of Sydney transforms into a massive light display, from the Opera House to the Harbour Bridge, featuring stunning laser shows and 3D mapping that turns buildings into moving artworks. If you prefer something completely quirky, the Moomba Festival in Melbourne will make you laugh with pure joy. It's one of Australia's largest street festivals, where people dress up in the most bizarre costumes imaginable. The more outrageous and creative, the better. Participants compete not just for prizes but for the sheer pleasure of expressing their wildest creativity in public. For music and arts lovers, the Woodford Folk Festival offers one of the largest outdoor cultural experiences in the world. This multi-day event features thousands of performances ranging from traditional folk music to cutting-edge contemporary acts, all set in a natural amphitheater that creates perfect acoustics. The Byron Bay Blues Fest attracts international musicians and music lovers to one of the most beautiful coastal settings imaginable. Imagine listening to world-class blues, rock, and folk music while ocean waves crash nearby and the Australian sun sets over the Pacific. If you love coffee, Australia represents a paradise you absolutely cannot miss. Here, coffee isn't just a beverage, it's a lifestyle philosophy intertwined with daily rhythms and social connections. Australians take immense pride in their craft coffee culture, featuring freshly roasted espresso that's meticulously brewed to achieve richness and smoothness that stands in stark contrast to the quick, convenient coffee often found in American chains. One of Australia's greatest contributions to global coffee culture is the flat white, an espresso drink with lightly frothed milk that's smooth and creamy without large bubbles. Born in Sydney during the 1980s, the flat white quickly became a worldwide phenomenon. Even Starbucks and major international chains have added flat white to their menus, acknowledging the superior quality of Australian coffee innovation. Here's something fascinating about Australian coffee culture. While Starbucks dominates globally, it struggled significantly in Australia. Australians have such deep loyalty to small local cafes where baristas know their regular customers' orders and personal preferences that corporate chains couldn't compete. This represents a rare victory of local culture over global commercialization. With over 2 billion cups of coffee consumed annually among a population of just 26 million, coffee culture has woven itself completely into Australian daily life. The cafes serve as community centers where people conduct business meetings, catch up with friends, work on laptops, or simply watch the world go by. It's social infrastructure disguised as coffee service. We've just explored 15 unique and fascinating facts about Australia that reveal a country far more complex, dangerous, and entertaining than most people ever imagine. From underground cities and gambling addictions to clothing-optional festivals and coffee culture that conquered the world, Australia operates by rules that exist nowhere else on Earth. What surprised you most about these Australian facts? Have you ever experienced anything similar in your own country? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know which fact you found most unbelievable. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.